We'll be going live in about 3 minutes.
Welcome to the Tea Party with Marty Abernathy, a show by an ultra-fab.
Let's do that again.
Welcome to the Tea Party with Marty Abernathy, a show by an ultra-feminine, meek, shy, totally unopinionated trans woman that seeks to listen to both sides and does not make fun of TERFs. You've listened to the show, right? You still want me to say this? Okay. Here's your host, Marty Abernathy.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody's having a good night. There's a lot going on. Mostly horrible. Oh. So if you haven't seen the social media stuff, you know what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about Chud logic. We're talking about right-wing anarchistic software and Trump Jesus tonight on the Tea Party. I wanted to take a moment to remind everyone to, if you haven't joined our Facebook group, we're on Instagram, Clapper, Twitch, YouTube, and you can support us at patreon.com/Marty Abernathy. But I know my name is difficult to spell, but if you want to, it's real easy. Just go to teapartypodcast.com and all my links are there. So, yeah. We are going to get to the topics that I wanted to, that I put in this show, social media stuff. But I do want to switch over here, and I want to show you some of what's being said in Congress where they're trying to impeach the president. It's really amazed me what is being said by people in Congress. Let's see. I want to. Oh, here we go. All right. So this is from Aaron Rupar on Twitter. This is a Representative Jim Jordan. Unbelievable. Listen to this.
We should be focused on bringing the nation together. Instead, Democrats are going to impeach the president for a second time 1 week before he leaves office. Why? Why? Politics and the fact that they want to cancel the president. We should be focused on bringing the nation.
They want to cancel the president. I mean, he didn't incite anybody. It's all about cancel culture. I blame ContraPoints for this bullshit. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. So let's just listen to some more of this bullshit. Unbelievable bullshit.
He was wrong
He was wrong. Wait a minute.
in a politically tense situational tone is to set such a confrontational tone in a politically tense situation. But what did he actually say? His exact words were, quote, "I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard," unquote. That's impeachable?
He told his supporters to go over and make trouble. The funny bit about that is, and you'll hear a lot of these guys say he didn't tell them to go over and do it directly. Unless he tells them to go over and do it directly, then he didn't do anything wrong. I like to call that the Charles Manson defense. He's literally using the Charles Manson defense. It wasn't me. I didn't tell him to do it. Unbelievable. But you know who the real perpetrators in all this are?
Months. This prosecuted BLM and Antifa rioters across the country with the same determination these last 6 months. This incident may not have happened at all. If we prosecuted BLM and Antifa.
It was Antifa. Oh my God. Oh, this is Louis Gomer is so close to figuring it all out.
Half of all the impeachments ever conducted, ever voted for, occurred under this speaker. Half.
And then you have jackasses like this that just flat out lie.
That we embrace one thing that was said. Yes, the president has been consistent for the last 4 years. During his campaign, I even, representing another candidate, said that the president had political Tourette's. He said what was on his mind without a filter. I don't think that's being debated here today. We all know that's true. What's being debated is whether with 167 hours left until he leaves office, is he a clear and present danger? And he clearly isn't. The president has acted substantially the same for 4 years.
Whose fault is it?
He has rallied his base.
Whose fault is it?
And he has, in fact, called for peaceful protest,
Whose fault
as
is
he
it?
did just a few days ago. The fact is, today we are trying to punish the president, at least some are, for 4 years of what he did, not for what happened last week. What happened last week was the result of anarchists who came loaded, prepared, and with weapons. With that, I yield.
It was anarchists all along. It's like an episode of Scooby-Doo. They take the masks off, and it was the anarchists. Who knew? Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. This one just says, who wants to tell her?
President Trump has indicated he will peacefully transfer power to President-elect Biden next week. So why pursue impeachment just 1 week before he leaves office? President Trump has
Oh, Lord have mercy. So, and they are all of them are all about reconciliation. We need to heal. They suddenly think that everyone needs to heal. Oh my God. And it is just a cavalcade. I've been watching this most of the day when I was putting together notes for the show. And it's just unbelievable what some of the, oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Who is it that they're kicking? The president, who created soaring highs for our economy, rising wages before the pandemic, 400 miles of wall to stop.
If you look at the charts, they just keep going up from Obama. So yeah, that's not anything that he did.
The caravans, who drew down troops in the Middle East and showed empathy for the forgotten men and women of our country. It's why so many people love him so much, and it's why
No, I think people love him so much for the racism.
they're kicking all of us. This president has faced unprecedented hatred and resistance from big media, big tech, and big egos.
Big media. Oh, they just hate him. That's why they put him on TV all the time the last 4 years.
From congressional leaders on both sides of the aisle.
And it gets better. It gets better. Wait.
Some have cited the metaphor that the president lit the flame. Well, they lit actual flames, actual fires, and we
Time
put them out.
expired. There will be order in the house.
Yeah, and you incited people to fucking come into the houses of fucking parliament, the government. You incited people to march on the government building and smash and damage it. It's unbelievable. What I mean, anyways, yeah, that's unbelievable. And some random geek in chat says, right wingers seriously believe if you are telling people not to watch someone's YouTube channel, that is cancel culture. And literally, they want everything. You know, I'm an anarchist. I don't really think capitalism is the way we ought to go with things. But given that these people masturbate to capitalism when it suits them, it's so funny how, like, with Twitter and Facebook and all this, now that literally they've kicked Trump off of all these platforms, suddenly they don't think that corporations have the right to do what they want. Suddenly they want government regulation. Suddenly they think government needs to step in. And suddenly they want to talk about free speech, but not knowing what free speech is. You don't have, I mean, and this is something that I talked about on Clapper and on TikTok the other day. When it comes to free speech is a public square. The internet is not a public square. The internet. Okay, so if you're homeless, do you have free speech? Yes. If you go out onto the public square, you have free speech rights. If you're an elderly person, you can go out onto the street. You have free speech rights. Free speech is not on the internet. You are paying for your internet. It's a private business that you are paying for. When you're on these platforms, those are also private businesses that you have an agreement with to follow their terms of service. Again, not free speech. Now, I wish there was. I wish that internet was a public utility, but it's not. So to say that it's free speech when somebody doesn't give you a a platform on the internet, that's just misusing what free speech is. So, yeah. Some random geek said they came with fire and brimstone. That is why we most believe in Jesus Christ, or in the Lord Jesus Christ. Yeah, well, the thing about saying that there's anarchists in the crowd, given the volatility of that crowd, it's just absurd. I do want to get to what I came to talk about, and the first thing that I want to talk about is Gab. Gab is now, since Parler has went down, Gab is really the only social media platform that people who get kicked off Twitter and Facebook for being offensive, obnoxious, trolls, it's the only place they have left to go. Parler was shut down earlier in the week, so Gab is literally the only place really left for these trolls to go. And I wanted to highlight what I think is ironic about that, because you have to understand the history of Gab. Gab was formed on an open source platform called Mastodon. It's a Twitter-like client that basically you can set up an instance yourself and connect to what's called the Fediverse. You can have all these different pieces of, you can have your own little universe where you have your own rules, and then you connect to the Fediverse. You can have other people see your instance, and you can see other instances. Well, when Gab decided to use Mastodon, that's when the people over at Mastodon said, "Fuck you," and blocked all the instances of Gab servers. Like Spinster is the turf one, but Gab itself. So I've been kind of curious. I did download Parler when it was working, just in case that it stayed up but was off the App Store. I want to be able to have a look. But that being said, I find it really ironic that Gab is an open source platform. And I want to read something. This is from Reddit, our debate. It's from the Reddit debate anarchism, posted by whatever 875444 about 13 days ago. It says, an organization, institution, or entity that can be considered anarchistic if people are able to opt in and opt out freely, free association. Members make decisions collectively without external or internal coercion, self-management. There is no hierarchical relationship between members, mutual aid. In this context, free and open source software can be considered anarchy because A, people are able to freely contribute to the projects they want, or not contribute, or even fork a project, free association. B, each project has its own governance rules, many of which are akin to direct democracy, self-management. C, people contribute their labor for the sake of the collective good and produce And production happens through collaboration, mutual aids. A few caveats. Open source isn't perfect anarchy. For example, internal democracy is often not direct enough or incorporates hierarchical elements, but it is, broadly speaking, anarchistic. Many projects that claim open source labels are not anarchistic at all. Many large corporations have co-opted open source, extracted labors from volunteers for their own profit, and make decisions with no democratic input from contributors / workers / volunteers. This does not detract from the real open source movement, culture, and practices which follow principles A, B, and C outlined above. With those caveats in mind, I do believe that the free and open source movement is, by and large, an anarchy. So, and I agree with but I find it ironic that people over on Gab who want their own they want their own little corner of the internet where they want to talk about free speech. But let's have a look. Let's have a look on what they actually are doing. Let's take a trip to Gab, shall we? So this Andrew Torba, he is the CEO of Gab, and he's like, the past 4 days of Gab growth, 51 million visits, 91 million page views, 1.7 million new users. I think this is someone that's saying they have 1.7 million new users and 51 visits. When was this posted? 6 hours ago. It has 11,000 likes, almost 12,000 likes, 1,000 comments, and 1,000 reposts. This is the CEO. This would be like Jack from Twitter. And if you go down some of these posts, the same people cheering our military camped out in D.C. to guard against Trump are the same people that want to defund our police. Yeah, and that's from Major Patriot. The same people that want to support the police bash them in the fucking head with a fire extinguisher. They run over them and smash them into doors. But you know. Oh, God. Oh, and this kind of thing is just fucking hilarious. They think that they're somehow roasting Twitter because now they're on Gab by themselves with their this post here is literally on their hot page. If you go up here, sort by hot posts. So that was posted 8 hours ago and it only has 1,800 likes, 60 comments, and 364 reposts. Now, for Gab, this is a lot. For Twitter, that ain't shit. That's not shit. So, if you look through these posts, I mean, they're just they're fucking deranged. These people are deranged. And especially the guy this Julian's Rum, you got a post like this. Biblical. Oh, get this. Most who engage in toxic relationships are blind to it and ignore advice from friends and family who see the truth. Trump voters, crazy uncle, racist uncle. Oh, wow. That said, think about sheeple operated in 2020 in the context of this age-old maxim. Hindsight is 2020. Oh God. So noticed a massive uptick in limp dick Soros shills today. Can only mean one thing. Gab has arrived. These people are so for free speech until actual people that disagree come on your platform. Then they're like, Soros shills, come on over here, and we're mad about it. Okay. This Julian's Rum retweeted this. Let me give you my assessment on things today. And this was posted 20 hours ago. I believe patriots are still in control. Trump's speech today was not concerning to me at all. Why would he ever tip his hat to the enemy? He has more power than ever and hasn't used it yet. He has done everything by the book. He knows the hand he has and will probably use his power as a buzzer beater. Why do you think the deep state Democrats are trying to impeach him and try to set up the false fake violence from patriots? I know it is tough to be a fan in the stands right now, but this is what we are. We voted like we should. Trump won in a landslide. And we are informed as many people as possible. There are so many more awakened now more than ever. Now Trump and the white hats have to do their job. We're at the precipice right now. God has heard our prayers and our cries, and he has been answering them and will continue to answer them. And I think he said, you're fucked. This truly might be a Red Sea event. Yeah, fiction. Hopefully you know what happened then. If you don't, go read your Bible. God wins in this one. Truly believe it will be, quote, biblical. Your faith is tested right now. Are you ready for something glorious to happen? Be ready. 12,000 likes. 1,200 comments. 2,700 reposts. Oh, God. These people. So, I want to play. Oh. Look at this. Look at this. Let my people post. Moses. Yes. They're going to lead them to the promised land. Okay. That is just the funniest shit ever. Let my people post. So they have a thing on Gab. It's supposed to be a YouTube replacement. Here are some of the things that are on. Well, I don't want to refresh it because actually this is kind of shit. The website, it has taken sometimes 2 to 3 minutes to load, and sometimes it errors out. But these are some of the things. Hillary Clinton would be crazy to run in 2020. That has 774 views from 4 days ago. Tucker Carlson, why Republican leaders despise their own voters. So that was 5 days ago. 1,6,300 views. Notice all these are from fucking 4 days ago. I am gonna see if I can refresh this and see if it did load. Again, all these are from days ago. There's nothing new. And like one of them, this one, traveling to Sweden for the first time. Protesters storm mansion gates in Washington state for tyrant Jay Inslee. Good morning, digital soldiers, deplorables, and friends. Oh, get this one. Is Mike Pence deep state or just another part of the show? What the fuck? They think Mike Pence is part of the deep state. Oh, God. I mean, it is just like there isn't one. I'm trying to see. There's something with 10,000 views. The leader or the CEO, he posted something 3 days ago. It has 30,000 views. So literally this YouTube alternative is pretty sad. But I want to play one of the videos on here because it is just bizarre and stunning at the same time.
America, we are under attack, not by these police officers necessarily, but by the deep state. There we are in the middle of a militant, leftist, deep state, globalist operation trying to make Trump supporters look like idiots and that we're violent agitators. With truth and fact, there are people dressed up in MAGA hats and other gear that are
It's a conspiracy to make them look stupid. Oh, God, no.
pretending to be MAGA supporters, and they're instigating, and they're playing on the emotions of all Trump supporters. Listen to this. Listen to this. These are people that love the cops. We love the police, but a few Antifa.
We love the cops. We love them so much. We love them with a fire extinguisher to the head.
Dressed up as Trump supporters, causing violence and stirring up violence here at the Capitol steps.
It was Antifa, all Antifa, the people that rushed into, that were pushing up against and smashing those cops into a fucking door. It was all Antifa, all those people. Now they've been to Black Lives Matter protests on the other side, supporting police, supporting all lives matter. But don't mind that. It's all part of the deep state.
And they're playing on the emotions of you and every patriotic American. This is not right. It is not necessarily their fault either. We've just been tear gassed. Our reported live from here in Capitol. DC Patriot. Follow Real Matt Couch. I'll see you guys soon.
That's the kind of shit that you have on Gab. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's absurd. And it would be funny if it wasn't atrocious. You're right, Phoenix Rising. These people are absurd. But here's the thing, and this is something that I wanted to point out too. Trump supporters, more than being Christians, Trumpism is a religion. And they have this circular logic that if something doesn't fit to their narrative, it just gets pushed away. I mean, if you look at any religion, a cult, in fact, yeah, Phoenix just pointed out, it's a cult. It's a religious cult. It's a religious cult. They have, I mean, I wonder, I mean, I hate to compare it to Jim Jones, but these people do not listen to reason. They don't listen to any logic. It literally, it doesn't make any sense. They only fit whatever filters through. It's about the deep state. And my ex and I, one of her friends we had dinner with, and he was talking about petrol dollars and the Bilderbergers and all the typical conspiracy stuff. And literally, like, one of my friends, David, just came back and hit every single point. And he never would acknowledge. That's the thing with these people. They hold on to it's like a security blanket. They'll hold tight to that security blanket, and anything that penetrates it is a lie. Anything that can prove it wrong is bullshit. And it's just part of the conspiracy to take. It's the deep state. The election was stolen. Literally, Republican judges have said there's been no significant kind of voter fraud. Some random geek in the chat says breaking their false reality is so traumatizing to them. They would rather storm the Capitol building than admit their worldview isn't reality. Well, and they have a leader that's egging them on even after he lost, because he cannot stand the fact that he lost. He can't admit to it that he lost. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's not unbelievable, but it's sad. It's sad, but it's also at the same time, you just have to sit there and wonder what it's going to take for people to come out of this. And one of the things that does bother me, though, in all this is how people still, even, quote, allies, Democrats, don't want to talk about the root of this. The root of this is white supremacy. Period. End of story. Donald Trump ran in 2016, in 2016, he ran on white supremacy. And he continues to build his platform on white supremacy. Make America Great, and I've said it before, but I'll say it again, Make America Great is just white supremacy in a nice little a verbal package with a bow on top. Because you can only think America is great if you're talking about white supremacy. Because in any other way, for women, for gays, for trans people, for any minority community, the past has not been great. Ever. So the only thing you're upholding is white supremacy. And, that's just the truth. So yeah. So this is going to be kind of a short show tonight, because I only have one other topic that I want to talk about. This might take a while, though. This is on about a leftist YouTuber, Chud Logic. I believe he's a pal of Destiny's. And I have to be honest, I noticed this because of Chrisiosity. She had a post about it, and I kind of went down the rabbit hole of from her post, seeing what everybody was talking about. And I want to bring that up, actually. Okay, so I'm going to play a video. This is
Want to pass your
No. This is from Destiny's YouTube page. Bring this up.
Let's see. That's good. How dare you really, though, is in your mind. I'm sure you're very pure. Ha, me, pure, funny. No, I'm a heathen. In the oh my God. Will you review the Chud Logic allegations? Well, but I'm looting. I joined a Discord of a certain bread tuber early last year and I experienced grooming from the person that serves, and the person was Chud Logic, fragrant and false. I lied about my age saying I was 18 plus when in reality I was 17. I posted on certain content myself that Chud saw. These fakes haunt me as extremely. Is this going to be like not safe for work? Hold on. Now one of the faults of Chud Logic. Chud Logic can be perfectly DMs first, so it's true. Delete a message I first sent, so the screenshot is hard proof. But you'll have to take my word for it. After this, over the course of many months, Chud Logic continued to make inappropriate comments to me. Some of them I'm embarrassed to say made me feel special and attached, but many also made me uncomfortable even at the time. Here are some things I found particularly troubling. Let's see. Haha, I'm going to penetrate the shyness. You just don't understand me because you're a boomer. Nah, you're just a shy virgin. Sounds perfect for me. I like things like that. Small boobs, perfect. How is this? We don't. I'd also like to note that Chud Logic is in his mid-30s and said this to me in one of our first convos. I could post screenshots of weird behavior. He asked me to promise never to leak this stuff, so YouTube could continue. I agreed. I feel bad for bringing my promise. Can't let others get groomed. Okay, listen up, okay? This is bullshit, okay? Somebody flirting with you and like typing sexual messages at you is not grooming. What the fuck?
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. What is grooming? So, if you're talking about and let me play some more of this actually.
What do you guys think grooming is? Like, what is grooming to you? It sounds to me like every single attempt at flirting is grooming to you people. That's
first off, the person he was talking to is 17. 17. He's 30. She's 17. Now, you can sit there and have a conversation of whether or not that is grooming. But you know what? It's illegal. It's illegal in many places to use the internet to attempt to arrange a sexual encounter with a minor. For instance, California Penal Code determines that anyone under the age of 17 years old is considered a minor, and engaging in cyber sex with this person is a crime. So it depends on the locality, but it could be a crime. Because it doesn't matter whether the person lied or not. That doesn't matter. I mean, you don't have to be a detective to know this. To catch you might have had to watch 2 or 3 episodes of To Catch a Predator. And regardless of, you could sit there and have debates. I think you'll lose, because the reality is that in most places, having cyber sex or flirting with a minor is illegal. And admittedly, this is NSFW Discord chat room. Also, I mean, it's immoral. I mean, first off, what are you doing as a leftist having an NSFW section of your Discord server? It's like, it'd be like, it's like a rock star having a harem. Only this is like virtual one, and you don't know who you're talking to. And you have to understand the dynamics of this. You're talking about people that are coming into your Discord server. They're a lot of times giving you money, and they are fans. You don't fuck your fans for the same reason teachers don't have sex with their students. There's a power dynamic at play. Because you have this person that's older, that's up here, and you have this person down here that there's influence. I mean, how is this hard to understand? It's immoral. And why do this? What? I don't understand the whole NSFW Discord server to begin with. You'd think these were fucking chuds, right-wing chuds. Some random geek says left Twitchers are just way too horny on the main. Some of my Twitch stream friends did necessary that a lot of left Twitch. Well, that's the thing. Yes, and some random geek or bosses with their workers. I mean, it's a power dynamic issue. When you have people that are in a position of power, and then people that are below them, taking advantage of the fact that these people are fans. You don't care about them as people, you see them as objects to use. I mean, and it's just gross. So let's continue listening to this bullshit Destiny is excusing.
Fucking disgusting. You guys are dumb as fuck. If you think you don't know what grooming means, just don't use it as a word. Like,
it's disgusting. It's disgusting. You know what's disgusting? I'm going to let this ad play. It's disgusting to sit there and excuse whatever you want to call it. You, if you call it grooming or sexual impropriety with a minor.
Guy hit on me and later on. That's fucking disgusting. You guys are dumb as fuck. If you think you don't know what grooming means, just don't use it as a word. Like 95% of you clearly have no fucking idea what it is, so stop. Jesus, grooming equals guy hit on me and later on I decided that I wasn't really into it.
No, she's underage. She's fucking 17. She's not 18. Yes, if that were legal, that might be a legal age. It's still fucked up. You still, that's why it's creepy to fucking date teenagers when you're 30. If you're 30 and you're dating someone 50, I totally understand it. The power dynamic is less there. But when you're talking about somebody that literally just fucking went to prom and you're 30 years old and you're flirting with somebody that just went to their fucking high school prom, that is disgusting. It may be legal, but it's not fucking right. Christ. And we continue.
Grooming can be a lot of different things, but randomly flirting is not grooming. So here are a bunch of things that grooming could be. Doesn't necessarily have to be these. Grooming generally implies that there is like some big power differential that causes one person to trust another one.
Yeah. Like you have a fucking huge YouTube channel that someone goes to pay for to get access to your Discord server, and they're fans of yours. You don't see that there's a power dynamic there at play, especially when it's somebody that's 17. Or what kills me too is the fact that that's the defense. They're 18, or they said they were 18. If they were 18, that's okay. It's still gross because there's still a power dynamic at play where you're taking advantage of women.
Where a sexual relationship would otherwise maybe be inappropriate. Like that could be grooming. Not necessarily, but it could be. So for example, if I'm like tutoring a girl and she's approached me for tutoring, that's a relationship. And I like slowly try to like massage that relationship into something sexual or whatever when it otherwise shouldn't be. That's kind of like grooming. Grooming could also be like, kind of like, I don't know if you say like illicitly gaining trust from somebody in ways that you shouldn't be. So
when you have an audience, you already have a relationship with your audience. You know, I have with you 4 people that are here. I have a relationship with you. Now, you can come on and talk to me if you want, but that relationship is you're here listening to me. So it's an elevated platform. So there's automatically a power dynamic at play. Now, to take that power dynamic and then have a Discord server where you have NSFW, where these people think that they're going to get extra access to you, and then you heap all kinds of praise on top of them and flirt with them, and they're 17. You don't get that that's a power dynamic there at play that's fucking way off kilter. Absurd.
like maybe like trying to slowly isolate somebody from all of their friends and convince them like, hey, like this guy's bad for you, that person's bad for you, this is bad for you, blah, blah, blah. Like I'm the only one you can trust, blah, blah. That could be like kind of like a form of grooming. Just like awkwardly flirting with somebody. And I say awkwardly flirting, and that's not even fair to say because all flirting is awkward. Okay. God, even put a rock in my fucking grill.
If you go and you look, let me see if I can bring this up. Da, da, da. So here's the flirting. Okay, so serious question. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? Why you ask? I don't know. I guess it's good to know if we are chatting. If you don't want to tell me, that's cool. I'm 33. Old. Boomer. First of all, 33 isn't boomer. I'm legal, so you won't get in trouble if that's what you're wondering. LOL, sorry to ask. Well, it's just inappropriate for me to be flirting with someone who's underage or even young, like 18. It's supposed to be half your age plus 7. Sorry, I'm awkward. Don't be. If you don't like it, you can say. And then this is literally a screenshot that is cut off, but regardless, if you go through this is some of what he said. So I'm going to penetrate you with my shyness. I'm going to penetrate the shyness. Nah, you just don't understand me because you're a boomer. Nah, you're just a shy virgin. This person is saying that they're 18, and this is the kind of thing that you're saying, you know. And that screenshot that I just posted, it's the beginning. It's not any of this stuff. Like literally, I'm not even going to repeat this. You can see it for yourself. I mean, this isn't just. It's just gross. And if you go on and you look at the thread, I'm not gonna go. Look at it. Hardly any more than that, because it literally is. It's just gross. It's vile, and like content creators, I don't even know why you have an NSFW Discord server unless you're going to prey on people. Why not like go on Tinder, learn how to fucking get dates with real human beings that you can like verify their age? Perish the thought. Maybe I know we're in lockdown all over the world, but you know, there are things like Tinder. It's just gross. It's just gross. Jump back on my I mean, when you think about it, the whole reason that people in positions of power, people that are teachers or professors or things like that, it's frowned upon to have relationships with these people because there's a power dynamic, and it's so easy to use that power dynamic to use people for your own gratification, because you can basically change grades, you can give them preferential treatment. I mean, there's all these things that are possible that doesn't work the other way. If the person that's being taken advantage of by the teacher, if they decide, fuck this, I'm done, the only thing that can happen are bad things. They have no position of power to where they could make the teacher suffer other than to basically tell what happened. But it's a power dynamic, and I don't know why that's so hard for these people that are leftists to understand. I mean, is is he someone that would be considered the dirtbag left? I don't get these people. I really don't. I mean, I'm as supportive. I mean, I support sex workers. I support trans people to have bodily autonomy. I support bodily autonomy at all. But there's a difference between bodily autonomy and power dynamics used to take advantage of the people. It may be legal. That doesn't make it moral. Anyways. Oh dear. So yeah, it to me it's one of those things that, like, you'll have guys arguing, it's not grooming. You want to have a debate on, you can have a debate on whether it's grooming or not. I think it is. But you can't have a debate on whether it's moral or not. Not that's in any way legitimate. Because, like I said, of the power dynamic. And the thing, Curiosity said, I support women coming forward to discuss their experiences with Chud logic, and people need to stop fucking with him, goddammit. Whether or not you get what their issue is, whether or not you believe them, if you attack them, put them on blast, then you enable abuse. That we on the left continue to be better, not be better at this over and over again is frustrating beyond words. You don't attack people for coming out with their stories, for one thing, because this has a chilling effect on other people feeling safe enough to come forward. This reminds me of there used to be a podcast called oh God, what was it? It was with Jamie Kilstein and his ex, now ex. Oh God, what was the name of it? It wasn't, I want to say Rebel Radio, but it wasn't. It was Citizen Radio. That's right, with Allison Kilkenny. And this guy was vegan, and he was into I think it was Taekwondo or something like that. I mean, he was, and he's hanging around with all these leftist vegans, and I mean, he was his guest during Citizen Radio were Noam Chomsky, Ralph Nader, Sarah Silverman, Janine Garofalo, Glenn Greenwald, Naomi Klein, people like that. In February of 2017, he announced that he was leaving the show. Later on, his co-host and ex-wife, Allison Kilkenny, announced via Facebook that Jamie had been removed to the show due to disturbing allegations of manipulative, emotionally abusive, and predatory behavior concerning women associated with the show. Same fucking kind of thing. You might not say that what he did was grooming, but it's fucking gross because it's a power dynamic. You're using your stage to fuck women and fuck them over, to use them essentially. I love Curiosity. She says, anyone who goes after these women who come forward can go fuck themselves with a harpoon immediately. And I am sick of us around here not doing better. We need to be better than this. The thing is, the people that we put up on pedestals are fucking grifters that have no fucking moral authority in any way. These people are using their positions for money and to fulfill their personal needs. Anyways, I'm going to jump back over here into their chat. So yeah, I mean, I when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, this is just something that I said it on the last show. This is the result of some random geek says, "Oh, hey, I am drinking tea, just black tea." This is the result of capitalism when it comes to leftist YouTube, breadtube, whatever you want to call it. It's just it's what happens when you're monetizing leftism. It's what happens. And it's not going to change until the dynamic changes. Because the people that have power are the people with big Patreons and big audiences with a huge number of viewers. That's what it's all about. It's numbers. You know, Christiosity's great, but she doesn't stream enough to have the viewership that somebody like Destiny or Chud Logic or what's his name? Pig Puncher. I forget what his name is now. Xander Hall. You know, she is what I think. She is the moral voice of BreadTube as it goes. But she doesn't. And that's the thing. When it comes down to it, people like Christiosity or Dusty Smith or any other BreadTuber, YouTuber on the left, unless they're somehow edgy, you know, then they're not going to get the popularity. They're not going to get the audience because it's based on a fucking circus. You got it. You got to be popular. You got to be. Come on and look at the drama. You know? Anyways. I'm just tired of it. So y'all, I'm oddly enough, I'm starting to get a migraine because the grossness. If anybody wants to, I'm going to hang around here for about another 10 minutes. If somebody wants to come on, I can give you actually, I think. If you want to come on and talk about anything I said, feel free to go on Google Meets. Just got to log into it. See if I can still log in with this code. should have done this before the show. But hopefully with every show that I'm remembering to do stuff more and more. I want to make this a little bit more seamless, but if you want to have a little chit chat, I don't think I need my camera. Oh, so if you want to, you can use the code down below right here. Right here. To get into the Google Meets. We can have a little chit chat, but otherwise, in about 5 minutes, I am going to shut this down. This is going on. Oh, I see. Jonathan pimped me. Gave me a little promo on Twitter, which is nice. Thank you, Jonathan. Oh, I want to play some more of this audio from some of these people from the hearings today. This is Kevin McCarthy.
Needs. Divided, we will fail. What we saw last week was not the American way. Neither is the continued rhetoric that Joe Biden is not the legitimate president. Let's be clear. Joe Biden will be sworn in as president of the United States in 1 week because he won the election. And the presidency and this Congress will face immediate challenges that must be addressed. I stand ready to assist in that effort with good faith, goodwill, and an open hand. The United States remains exceptional. We remain extraordinary. In the coming weeks and months, we must work together, all of us, to recharge the light of our shining city on the hill. Needs. Divided, we will fail. What we saw.
Oh, and here's the gun-toting.
Accountability for the left.
Gun-toting Lauren Boebert.
After encouraging and normalizing violence, rather than actually helping American people in this time, we start impeachments that further divide our country. I call bullcrap when I hear the Democrats demanding unity. Sadly, they are only unified in hate. Inspired. Thank you, I yield. The accountability for
the oh. God bless Maxine Waters.
In support of impeaching again.
I love Maxine Waters.
The worst president in the history of the United States. Since his first day in office, this president has spent 4 years abusing his power, lying, embracing authoritarianism, radicalizing his supporters against democracy. This corruption poisoned the minds of his supporters, inciting them to willingly join with white supremacists, neo-Nazis, and paramilitary extremists in a siege of the United States Capitol building, the very seat of American democracy. The Republican Party is now the Trump Party. And I want you to know that this is a Trump power grab that will not stop. It will not stop with attacking the Capitol and our state legislatures. This president intends to exercise power long after he is out of office. It is reported that the President of the United States watched the invasion from the Oval Office of our Capitol and seemingly enjoyed it. I want you to know.
And also, it's been reported that people were calling him to do for security type stuff, and he did absolutely nothing. But you do have some Republicans that
all do better. These articles of impeachment are flawed. But I will not use process as an excuse. There is no excuse for President Trump's actions. The president took an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Last week, there was a domestic threat at the door of the Capitol, and he did nothing to stop it. That is why, with a heavy heart and clear resolve, I will vote yes on these articles of impeachment.
That's somebody that has some guts. You know, there have been people that have been saying, oh my God, well, I would vote for impeachment, but I would get I've been getting death threats. This guy has guts. And most Republicans these days are real crap. But there used to be Republicans, which I disagreed with, but I could kind of understand where they were coming from. People like Richard Lugar. He was a Republican from Indiana.
Afraid that my country will fail.
This is a Republican as well.
I'm not afraid of losing my job, but I am afraid that my country will fail. I'm afraid patriots of this country have died in vain. I'm afraid my children won't grow up in a free country. I'm afraid injustice will prevail. But truth sets us free from fear. Truth doesn't guarantee bad things won't happen, but it does promise to always prevail in the end. It has no shadows where darkness can hide. With truth comes love, and we could use that right now. My vote to impeach our sitting president is not a fear-based decision. I am not choosing a side. I'm choosing truth. It's the only way to defeat fear.
You know, you can disagree with their politics generally, but at least people like this aren't being crass and seeing this as another chance to just keep being toxic. Now, I haven't heard this is Cori Bush, but
Madam Speaker, St. Louis and I rise in support of the article of impeachment against Donald J. Trump. If we fail to remove a white supremacist president who incited a white supremacist insurrection, it's communities like Missouri's 1st District that suffer the most. The 117th Congress must understand that we have a mandate to legislate in defense of Black lives. The first step in that process is to root out white supremacy, starting with impeaching the white supremacist in chief.
And that is facts. And that's what bothers me most about all this is what people won't talk about. People won't talk about, at the end of the day, this is mostly about white supremacy. And MAGA, as Jonathan said earlier, MAGA is white supremacy.
This Capitol next week. He has not asked them not to do it. He has not told them to stand down. I most fear January 20 because I think he will try to go out with a bang and take attention away from Joe Biden.
The gentleman's time has expired, and there will be order in the House.
Like literally, I showed earlier. I mean, there are people on Gab that are saying Joe Biden is not going to be the president come next week. What is that other than a threat? And this is a good point as well.
Speaker, on January 6th, terrorists attacked the United States of America. It was an attempted coup and an insurrection, but what I hope Americans understand is that it was a terrorist attack against our country. Those who came and participated must be found and prosecuted. Those who aided and abetted must be found and prosecuted. And the man who incited it, President Donald J. Trump, our greatest national security threat, must be impeached, held accountable, and never be allowed to hold office again. I yield back.
You have Republicans that will sit here over and over and over again talking about well, he only has 8 days left. This is why he needs to be impeached, so he can never run for office again. Granted, I don't think he will anyways, given his age and how old he'll be in 4 years. But that being said, it's just a toxic mess. And get this. There's Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was elected as a QAnon conspiracy theorist, is wearing a mask that says censored. And oh my God, I just wish they would just shut the fuck up. They don't know what censored is. They don't know what censorship is. They don't know what free speech is. It's fucking tiresome. Anyways, folks, thank you for coming tonight. I want to thank Jonathan, and especially since he's our one and only patron. Thank you, Jonathan. You are numero uno. So we'll have a Patreon subscriber stream, and it'll be me and Jonathan. So if you want to help out, and let me be clear, there are a lot of costs that come along with doing this, and I want to make the show better, and I plan on doing this over the long term. If you aren't familiar with the show, I plan on doing a show on Monday, on Wednesday, and on Saturday. Monday is always going to be a gaming night. By the way, I wanted to tell. I'm gonna switch my cameras. I wanted to talk about something for a minute. So one of the things that I feel really self-conscious about when I go on Social Justice Alchemy, I am not a geek as much as my friends on Social Justice Alchemy are, because I have never played Dungeons and Dragons ever. Never ever. And yeah, it made me feel really, when they get to talking about Dungeons and Dragons, I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't get the references. And like, especially when John Brockman's talking about his Dungeons and Debacles podcast. I don't get any of the references. That being said, so the game night, I just fuck around and just bullshit while I'm playing random games. The game I'm going to be playing for the foreseeable future, though, is Fallout 76. I love the original Fallout. I love big world games anyways. And we'll be playing that for a while, but we'll be doing shows like this on Wednesday and Saturday. and then a game on Monday night. I am going to be going to 9 p.m. on Saturday and on Monday, on actually all 3 days. The stream will start 9 p.m. UTC. So figured out from that. UTC is basically 0. So if you see what your time differential is from UTC, you can figure out when it'll be. But the easy way is just to go to YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell, and do the little notification thing, and then you'll get a notification when we go live. Then you won't have to worry about what time. But if you join our Patreon, you can also join our Discord server. I am going to add some stuff. The thing with Patreon is I support other people. Let me see if I can. And some of the creators, I wanted to see what creators I support. Basically, until I have quite a few creators, basically what you're going to be doing, helping me, is supporting other creators, because basically I'm already supporting places like Trans Advocate. That's why I'm trying to see if I can bring up the people that I support. But eventually, what I do want is to do upgrades to the stream, do pay for some of the costs of, especially like with a podcast, and I try to keep things as low as possible cost wise. But there are some things that just, like, I had a music streaming service. I got rid of that. And I just, I try to make it as cheap as possible, but there are just some costs to doing this. And if you can help me, I can continue to help other patrons, and it will cost me less in the end, which is a huge help. I wish I could. I suck. So, anyways, if you want to help on Patreon, that would be great. We will. Let's just do this. Let's say it is the 13th. So let's say the first Monday. No. The first Wednesday. The first Wednesday of every month, we will do a. No. I take that back. I want to do it on the weekend, because I like weekends better. So the first Saturday, I've just made this executive decision. The first Saturday of every month, we'll do the Patreon patrons only stream, starring me and Jonathan, if he wants to come on. But I want to do that because, to be honest with you, that's what got me interested in doing all this, is Jonathan and Leto, basically. I met them in Christy Winters' Funny story. I joined Christy Winter's Patreon thinking that it was Christiosity's Patreon. Because I watched a video that was from Christiosity, but it was one that Christy had posted. So I thought I didn't know the difference between Christy Winters and Christiosity. So that's where I met Jonathan and Leto. And I absolutely loved the Patreon only streams. They were so fun. And Jonathan is just an amazing person. I'm not saying this just because he's a patron now. He's an amazing person, and like I've told many streamers to go fuck themselves when they pick on him. Crispy Winners. And it's just inspired me to do this. So I want to get better at it. And if you can help, that's cool. Thank you very much. If not, go fuck yourself, as Tom would say. Tom McDonald. I do love you all. Love you guys that are coming, and see you on Saturday. Jonathan says thank you for that always, as always. Maybe for the show, but you don't have to thank me for saying what I just said, because it's the truth. You're one of the most honest. You might you might be a little overly enthusiastic about anarchism sometimes. But that's the worst thing that I could say about you. You are one of the most genuine, loving persons that I've ever met online. Besides my partner. But you're amazing, and like I think that like anybody that goes after you or gets annoyed by you is really a piece of shit. That's just my thoughts. But anyways, I look forward to seeing you guys on Saturday, and I will talk to you later. All right. I just turned off the recording. Now we'll go to the YouTube's version of shutting this stream down, because I don't like it when people just shut everything off. So I'll bring the music back up. We'll chill for a minute. Say our goodbyes. Oh, by the way, you should add me on TikTok or Clapper if you have. One person called me Boy George, and I just thought it was the funniest thing, because I loved Boy George growing up, and I met him last November and had my picture taken with him, and he's the only person that I've ever been starstruck. I don't really believe in being starstruck. But literally when I met him, I was just like, I had nothing to say. And he's like, what's your name? And I was like, Martha. It was ridiculous. And I was so embarrassed after it, because I wanted to tell him, like, because he was probably the person that allowed me to understand and want to express my gender in the way that I do. And I know he's problematic in some ways, but for me, that was part of my childhood. So when somebody called, I made a video basically of me lip syncing to "Do You Really Want to Hurt Me?" Because that's not. You tried to you tried to insult me and gave me a compliment instead. So, anyways, yeah.